What's going on? Guys, I kept my promise and I'm going to do a UFC 271 post game episode. Bianca, she's here. She's doing homework over in the corner because we have a little fun Valentine's Day weekend planned out, but I'm keeping my promise and I'm actually doing this. This is testing my will to, this is testing everything, but I'm just really tired right now, but I have to get this done just for my mental health, But what an amazing card. Probably, if not by the end of the year, I can almost guarantee this is going to be one of the best cards. Like looking back, just given the fact the Douglas Silva de Andrade fight. What are we doing there? Craziness. Sergey Morozov cracks him, drops him, and then Douglas comes back, even though he has an absolute gasher above his left or right eye or something. Crazy fight, but there's just a few things that I have to get off my mind and that I have to kind of just talk about. So the very first thing, we got to give out fighter of the day. And there's a few really good ones, but I think we got to go Jeremiah Wells here over Blood Diamond. Blood Diamond didn't even get to show anything that he was capable of. All the hype, everything, Jeremiah Wells nullified that real quick. But then obviously we have De Silva. He was fantastic. And another prospect that I really liked was AJ Dobson. I haven't seen him fight before, but he looked really good against Jacob. Because he kind of reminded me of like David Onama, where he was stuffing takedowns and he has pretty clean boxing, but Jacob Malkoun just kept taking him down. I was a little bit busy during the Mana Martinez fight, and I was talking to my grandpa, and then literally when Mana hit, after getting dominated, when he hit him with that spinning back fist, I was like, oh, which was kind of sick, but it was kind of embarrassing. But yeah, there was just the whole entire card was fantastic, but the main guy that sticks out to me was Jeremiah Wells, and then obviously I got to actually give it to Douglas Silva on the undercard. And then as we got up into the kind of the main juice after the Ronnie Lawrence, Mana Martinez, Kyler Phillips, baby. This guy, I don't even know how he lost to Raulian Paiva. He looks so good against Marcelo with that arm bar, baby. He's going to be, I really want him to, he deserves, in my opinion, he deserves a top 15 opponent because he's so dynamic. He's so much fun to watch, and he's a main eventer, honestly. He could headline a card. And then when they were talking about how Bobby King Green needs to headline, I can completely agree with that. But just sticking with Kyler right now, there's so many fun fights in the bantamweight division for him. He doesn't necessarily have to get a ranked guy, but getting a dub over a tough Marcelo Rojo, I honestly believe that gives him, and it was pretty definitive as well. And I wouldn't mind maybe because didn't he fight Yadong and he beat Song? Wouldn't it be kind of fun to maybe run that back? Is that kind of crazy though, since that didn't happen that long ago, and Kyler kind of wrecked him a little bit. Song didn't have much for him, but because if you match him up with Song, then you're gonna have an opportunity for Kyler to get ranked, and then he can just start climbing the rankings. But I think that would be a fun fight. Even Ricky Simone versus Kyler, but Ricky Simone's probably looking to fight somebody higher up in the rankings for sure. But yeah, I'm just really stoked because honestly, the fights that me and Bianca picked, we did really well, honestly. I picked Douglas De Silva. I picked Mana Boy. I picked Kyler. I wanted Roxanne. Roxanne looks so good, honestly. She's stuck on she was really good on the feet with Casey. She did really well, and it was kind of sad to see her go, but there was a couple passing of the torch moments with the Tuivasa fight, and then also with Roxanne and Casey. Arlovsky kind of scraped out a dub there. Okay, these are the main things that we have to talk about according just to the main card. That's enough with the prelims and stuff. Bobby King Green. When I was doing an episode with Bianca, and I was talking about how Bobby King Green versus Joel Alvarez needs to happen, and then I made a new video that didn't happen because they matched him up with Arman Sarukian, and I made a video about how I want Rafael Fiziev to fight the winner of Arman Sarukian versus Joel Alvarez, and then Rafael Fiziev got to fight against RDA. So that kind of crashed my plans a little bit, but why not give Bobby King Green the winner of that fight? Because if anybody deserves to be ranked in the entire UFC, it's definitely Bobby King. I mean, even when this guy loses, he still wins. Again, his fight against Thiago Moises was he lost a decision. Nobody has really taken this cat out in a while. Well, I want to see when's the last. All he has is this. Okay, the last time he lost via a freaking finish was against Dustin Poirier in 2016. Since then, he's either won or lost decision victories. And then these last few times, he knocked out Alec, went to obviously, and then he put on a pretty good performance. Probably his best performance to date against Nasrat. So let's give, even though he has only won 2 of his last 4. Like, I guess you could picture it as he's won the last 3 of 5. You could say that. That sounds a lot better. Okay, let's do that. So let's give him Joel Alvarez versus Arman Tsarukyan. That's going to be a fire fight. No, he's a tough test for anybody in the division. And Joel Alvarez, it'll be fun to see Bobby King Green because I feel like the only way to really beat that guy is via either having some extreme attributes because Joel Alvarez, he can basically pick you apart. And then also Arman Tsarukyan, who has the threat to take you down at any time, and I feel like that's the main way to beat Bobby King Green. So let's do that instead. I think that would be good. And then next, Renato Moicano versus Alexander Hernandez. I was thinking, like, why not just match up Bobby King with Renato Moicano? But that doesn't make too much sense. But after looking, like, Renato, like, he looked more impressive in this last fight, especially on the feet. Like, he didn't really even get threatened on the feet at all, and I feel like that's gonna be imperative for him because in some of the other fights, like against Rafael Fiziev, obviously Rafael is so unbelievably high level, but like he got cracked a few times, and even in the Jai Herbert fight he got cracked. So, but he didn't get touched by Alexander at all, so that's a really good sign. And if that is the case, if he can be, because we already know how good he is on the ground, and he got like his 9th ever rear naked choke submission. So if we matched him up with like another dude, I don't think it's crazy to maybe put him in for a fight to maybe get into the top 15, because after this fight against Alexander Hernandez, like, he looked legit, and if he gets on the ground with you, he can freaking Charles Oliveira you, basically. And he is really similar in body type to Charles, so like, I was really pumped for Renato. I'm really happy that he's been able to like turn his career around. And if he doesn't get a big check after tonight, that's a crime. Because Big Tex, I like what he said after the fight. Like, Texas, big. What did he say? He said big in Texas, big steaks, and they give me big checks or whatever. It's like the funniest thing ever, dog. Renato Moicano. In Texas, big steaks. What'd you say? No, you weren't. You missed the Bobby King Renato, and you watched the Cannonier fight. All right, next few topics that we'll cover real quick. Jared Cannonier versus Derek Brunson, crazy fight. Derek Brunson almost got Jared out of there in the first round, but Jared, he's good. He is good. It's just Israel Adesanya and him don't match up too well, I don't think, because Israel took a guy like Robert Whittaker. He nullified everything Jared did. And even though he might be a little bit more improved, like Robert Whittaker, he completely changed the way he fights, and he's so good. And if Israel can nullify what Robert could do to him, imagine what he's going to do to Jared Cannonier. Like, it's not even going to be close. The only fight to make is Sean Strickland. The only reason I want to see that fight, it could be another snoozer. Sean Strickland might not want to engage with him, but it's the only shot to dethrone Israel. Because Sean Strickland, he's the only one cuckoo enough to get in the mindset of beating him. And also, I will say this right now, I believe Sean Strickland, if he wants to take him down, if there's anybody that's going to keep him down, it could very well be Sean Strickland, just because of how dense and big he is. Even though he might not be that super tall, I feel like he's got that psycho strength where he's going to be able to hold down Israel, especially if he spars with big guys like Dominic Reyes and stuff. He's felt big, strong guys, so not that like Robert or Jared haven't, but I don't know. There's just something different about Sean, and I think that's the only fight to make. Jared Cannonier, sure, they're probably going to make a Jared Cannonier versus Israel Adesanya, but it's like, come on, dude. I mean, props to Jared Cannonier. He did so good. He overcame a lot of adversity in that fight. and he's just super heavy-handed, and anytime he connects, he can change the direction of a fight. Just like, perfect segue, just like Tai Tuivasa can. And Tai Tuivasa, this is like basically the last thing I want to talk about. Tai Tuivasa deserves interim title shot over anybody, and he just knocked out. I've never really seen anybody do what Tai just did to Derek Lewis, dude. Like, he landed an elbow and then Derek just folded. Derek looks so good. He cracked him on multiple occasions, but yeah, I'm sold on Tai. Like, he's legit. He's actually legit. I was kind of questioning him before the Sakai fight. Like, what if this is just kind of a fluke? But Sakai's a high-level striker. And then Derek Lewis, people are scared to get in the pocket with him and throw. And Tai's not. And so that's the difference. He's just fearless. So, and you can even tell, dude, when he's staring you down at like the ceremonial press conferences or the ceremonial weigh-in, and he does like puts his arms up in the air, you can tell he's not scared of anybody. So him versus like Stipe, him versus Cyril, those are all going to be really good fights. Because he's not afraid to stalk anybody down, and he throws that leg kick and he'll just throw one or two, and people don't like it. Even Derek didn't like it. So yeah, super good card all around. I think we're going to be going back to this one big time because this one's going to stand out throughout the entire year for sure, because there's a multiple fights on here where there are fights of the year candidates. Like that Ronnie Lawrence versus Manny Martinez. Manny was down and out, and I knew I had faith that he was going to come back, and he ended up giving Ronnie Lawrence serious trouble. And then obviously the Douglas Silva de Andrade fight was absolutely berserk, and I never counted him out. Even when he was hurt and stuff, I was like, dude, this guy's not going away. And he ended up getting that dub, baby, that rear naked choke. I think, I don't know what the like record is for rear naked chokes on a card, but there was 3 of them. And even though I know that's like, dude, that's actually kind of wild. There's a lot of similarities, bro. We literally had 3 rear naked chokes, 2 knockouts via elbow, and then we had 2 split decisions. That's wild, baby. I don't know. I don't think the Casey O'Neill fight should have been a split decision for sure. The Andre Arlovski or Jared Vanderaa definitely should have been. But there's a lot of storylines coming out of this fight card, and there's a lot of good guys that I think that this just set the foundation for them to have huge 2022s, like Kyler Phillips, Bobby King Green, all these guys. Jacob Malkoun. But I cannot wait. I think the main star to watch out for that didn't win was AJ Dobson. I really liked what he did. He kind of gassed out a little bit just because Jacob was so relentless with the takedowns, but he looked really good and athletic, and he got back up to his feet on multiple occasions, and he was hitting him with clean, crisp shots. Like, his guard is really tight, and he just throws really good straight shots, and he's finding the target big time. But yeah, tons. And I can't forget about Maxime Grisham. Grisham looked really good against William Knight. William just couldn't really pull the trigger at all. But lots of really good fights. I'm happy I did this. And, right at 13 minutes, baby. Let's go. So that's kind of my recap for UFC 271. Thank you guys. I know this is terrible, but, it is what it is. And we'll get better at it because I want to keep doing these throughout the year. And then also it'll probably get better during summertime and stuff when I have less stuff going on. So I'll be more inclined to do it. Less obstacles or less stuff to do, Okay. Thank you guys very much. Later.